Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Midweek Vibes, our show that brings us to the point where we understand the issues affecting us from day to day. And this week, we are blessed to have a speaker tackling the issue of pain. Last week, we dealt with it. Today, we're going to deal with the relief of that pain. And maybe you're standing there or sitting there and watching from wherever you're watching from, and you have had a lot of pain, mild pain, severe pain, whatever form of pain, and you've been wondering, where do I take my pain? And perhaps you've gone to places looking for relief, but I can assure you, you are watching a show with a difference. Your life will never be the same again. And last time, if you remember, we had about something that fascinated me a lot. It's called the fascia. Fascia is that connecting tissue, the doctor told us, that holds and separates our organs and our muscles, stabilizes them very well. And if it's not working well, then we have problems. And today we're going to learn more. So my invitation to you, bring your questions. Let your friends know that we're on to a good thing and you don't fail to share this with somebody. So let me go ahead and invite our guest, Dr. Hamisi, to remind us who he is, so that in case you didn't watch last time, you want to know who is talking to you today. Dr. Hamisi, karibu sana. Please tell us who you are and where you come from.
Thank you so much, Reverend Maggie, for hosting me a second time. My name is Dr. Hamisi Kotayali, a chiropractor specialized in fascia manipulation by STECO. I've been practicing medicine for the last 21 years, but I've been in practice here in Kenya and my own practice for the last 8 years. I'm excited to be able to bring you another way of looking at the human body, another way at helping you relieve your pain, relieve your discomfort, relieve some of those things that bother you in a day-to-day living. Last week we talked about the fascia, and we talked about and said that this is the tissue that connects and interlinks our body from head to toe. Mm-hmm. And we talked about how when this tissue gets wrinkled, when this tissue gets twisted, it causes a strangulation of organs, of blood vessels, of muscles, of nerves to cause you pain. So today we're going to look at how do we examine it? How do we look at it? And then when we examine it, how then do we come up with a treatment strategy that is able then to help you relieve pain? Remember, the difference between us is that we practice more Eastern medicine versus the modern medicine that you're used to, or rather what we call school medicine. So I welcome you to the show. I hope you'll enjoy it. I hope I'll make a difference to you. I hope I'll give you something. I'll give you hope that then, should you be having a problem, you can have hope that there's another way that you can look at your problem.
Thank you so much. I think we want to start with some questions that came from the last show. Okay. And one of them is from James Jugona, who was watching, and he said he had a cyst removed from his lower point of his vertebrae through surgery. One question, could that cyst have been caused by his sitting position? In other words, does our sitting position affect us in one way or the other, and in which way? What do you recommend for chronic pain on cervical spine and neck area? Those are two questions. Can I ask that one?
Yes, can I ask that?
The third one. Does it mean that for every pain, routing or routing from bones does not necessarily need surgery?
Let me start with question number one. And to be able to answer question number one, I'll say that whenever in Eastern medicine, when we see a cyst, we don't see a cyst as pathology, because we have had research that has been able to prove to us that a cyst is not a pathology. However, in modern medicine, it's taken as a pathology. But let me explain then how do we not take it as a pathology. Let me use the female reproductive system. It's easy to explain because it's easy for one to understand. Assuming I'm a uterus and I have fallopian tubes on the side, we assume that I am inside someone. Okay, I'm inside someone, and on the outside there's a wall, and there's a wall where these fallopian tubes are held on that side, and held on that side, and held in the front, and held at the back, so that this uterus then can be balanced in the center. Now, if there is an imbalance of whatever nature, and this uterus has to be pulled this way. The body will not allow the uterus to be crooked like this. So it will create something here, a cyst. It will create a cyst here to pull this way to balance. So the cyst that will form here, like a fibroid, will be not a pathology, but a counterbalance. Because as I said last time, the body organs needs to have an area of play, an area of free movement. Whenever this area of free movement is affected, then a cyst is created to try and prepare space and create space. Like what I was saying, so if the uterus is pulled this way, a cyst will create here to try and pull this way to balance. Okay? Same in this case of our patient who sits for long. The cyst can create in the spine because maybe if he sits for long and is bending all the time and it's causing a lot of tension on one side of the body and the nerves are being pressed, the body will try to create a cyst to try and push that nerve to the side, to try to create space for the nerve to move, and as a result, that cyst will be there. So, but the cyst itself is not in our looking a pathology, but a body, a way of trying to help itself. Yes. And then you talked about the second question for the neck pain.
The second question is the
Neck pain.
Neck pain and cervical pain.
Yes. Today, a lot of people are suffering from neck pain, majorly because of occupation. We are working 8 hours jobs a day. So you get to your office, you sit behind a computer, you work on the computer, and as you get tired, you follow the computer, and you keep on bending down. So over time, we are developing this type of posture. So we are hunched forward, shoulders are rotated forward, and our head is kind of looking up, and our back is forced to go back. So as a result of this change in posture, we create a lot of tension. A lot of tension on the muscles of the back. Why? Because the muscles of the back are trying so hard to hold the neck, the head. The head is about 12 kilos.
A whole 12 kg?
It's about 12 kilos of our head, if you measure our head. So it's supposed to be balanced like that. So every time the head moves an inch forward or a centimeter forward, the body has to be supporting 10 newtons or 10, like a kilo of weight from falling. So that constant pressure over time, it makes the muscles to go rigid, and when they go rigid, they stiffen up, and that stiffening up gives us that pain that we always want to keep on pressing. And then if you notice is that you get very hard muscles on the neck and hard at the back. That is what causes all that stiffness. How do we treat it? We treat it by doing the reverse, to release the tension. If you're already tight like this, you're overstretched at the back. We don't work at the back. If you work at the back, you're not helping. You need to work from the front to open up the chest back. And you also need to be given exercises that are going to remove you from here
to the normal.
Yes, so we say patients to do what we call chin tuck exercise. You pull your neck back. It's a chin tuck exercise. You're pulling your neck back so that you correct the curve. Otherwise, when you take an X-ray or take an MRI, it will show a lot of muscle spasm around the neck. And also, if it's there for so long, it will show a lot of degenerative change on the neck, which is diagnosed as cervical spondylosis.
Wow. And then the pelvic pain?
If you're having a pelvic pain on the same, and it's the same thing, what happens is that if you sit for so long, we shorten these muscles here because of sitting for so long. There's a muscle here called the psoas. This muscle is what makes us be able to move our legs. So for sitting for so long in the seat, maybe you sit in the car, you go to the work, you sit in the office, you get up from the car, you sit again, you go home. So these muscles shortens, and when they shorten, they tilt the pelvis forward, causing these muscles to be overstretched. So this one becomes tight, but this becomes short. As a result of that, yes. This becomes tight, this becomes short. When this becomes short, then the pelvis is twisted like that. Then you end up having a lot of pressure on the back, on the nerves at the back. And as a result of prolonged use like this, then you start getting degenerative change that will cause compression of the nerve as they exit to go into supply the legs and other internal organs.
Wow, did you guys hear that? Trouble how we sit. We have another question here. Is surgery always needed when you have pain?
It's always recommended that when you're sick, surgery has to be the last option. And in our case, we say you only want to do surgery if you have red flags. What do I mean? Red flags is like you are starting to get paralyzed, like your leg is losing power, like you're losing bowel movement, or you're getting incontinence. Those are the red flags that we recommend people to do surgery. Or if the pain is too much, it's too extreme that you cannot bear, you cannot respond to any medication, then surgery would come in. However, it is always advisable that you have to start with conservative care, because once you open it, you can never return it the way God had created it. Yes, so conservative care first. I normally say don't rush into surgery, because sometimes you may have a lot of pain, but it's just a matter of time, the pain will come down. But you see, people get scared. Maybe you're having pain and some numbness on your leg, and like sciatic pain comes with some numbness in the leg. This can really frighten you, and you decide you want to rush to do surgery. But give conservative care first time, because some of that severity of the pain is because maybe at the time you're having a lot of muscle spasms, your muscles are really, really tight and compressing your nerves a lot. But conservative treatment, if it's done correctly, it can be able to ease that. However, we always need to think conservative. Only going to surgery when we have reached the end, but not having surgery as the first option.
Fantastic. I guess we got it there. Surgery should never be our first option.
No.
Let's be conservative.
Yes.
Wow, that's a good point. I like that one. Now, Dr. Hamisi, thank you so much for responding to those questions. Keep your questions coming. But meanwhile, I see two new things on stage today.
Yes.
We don't have the fascia person.
We don't have the fascia person today.
Which I like very much. It is to grip my mind.
So today I've come in with two things. Remember last time when I was here, we talked about that we get sick in two ways.
Right.
And we said we have problems that emanate from the musculoskeletal system,
right,
and we have problems that emanate from the internal organs.
Yeah.
Okay? So I want to talk about the two and how the two happen. So I want to start with the ones that start from the internal organs. Now, I've come with a poster here. This poster helps me to be able to illustrate and explain really what happens. So if we take the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord, the brain and the spinal cord can be divided into three segments, or into three areas. The area number one is what we call motor nerves. Motor nerves is what we actively are able to control. Like I can say, okay, I want to stretch my leg, I want to bend my leg, I want to stand, I want to walk. That is motor. You actively do it. If you don't actively do it, it doesn't happen.
Right.
Okay? Then we have what you call autonomic.
But Kari, just a minute. Sometimes we want to move and we have a problem.
Yes.
Sometimes we are sleeping and we can't lie down comfortably.
Yes.
Is that part of the motor nerve?
That can be motor.
Okay.
That can be motor. So the second part of the nerves that we have is what we call the autonomic nerves. Autonomic nerves are the things that happen automatic. We don't control them, like breathing, like heartbeat, like how your food is digested, like how your blood circulates. We don't control those. That is an automatic system. So that is called autonomic nerves. And then we have what we call sensory nerves. Sensory nerves is the communication, is what tells us what is happening outside, so that the body can feel. If I touch this cup, for me to know it's a cup, that's sensation, that's the sensory, so that I can touch. And then the sensation comes to my spine, goes to the brain for interpretation, and then it comes back to tell me, hey, that's a cup. That you are touching a cup, and this is what.
So that's hot.
Yes, it's hot. It's cold. Yes.
Right.
So that is sensory. Now, when we have known that, the other thing that I mentioned last time is that I said the body maintains a tension. There's a tension in our body, and that tension is like a tone. Is what makes us to be able to be alive today. If we lose that tension, we lose life. So that tension, yes, that tension is what maintains our body in 3D, our body stretched in a 3D direction. That tension is what we say that nerve tension can exist without pain. Okay? So this tension is there all the time, because that tension helps the body to be able to move, to balance and float in itself. So this tension is what gets affected for us to get sick. So before we get sick, what happens is that these two have no nerve, have no sensory input, so you can't feel them. You can't feel. You're not able to sense it. So before we get sick, we start. It can start on the motor nerves. On the motor side, we start with things like weakness. Okay, you're weak. You feel like your muscles are weak, but you're not in pain, but you're weak. You can't lift something, feeling you're weak.
You don't have
Okay,
strength.
you don't have strength. You sometimes complain, oh, I'm getting a lot of muscle cramps. You know, I'm getting a lot of muscle cramps, muscle spasm. I don't know why. Just getting muscle cramps. Then fatigue. You know, you wake up in the morning, you're tired. You do something little, you're tired. You walk a little bit, you're tired. You don't know why. Okay. Then tightness. Your body is just tight. You feel like somebody has wrapped something in you. So stiff. You're not able to break out of this stiffness. You want to go for a massage or do something. But these are things that can go on for quite a long time. Years, in fact. It can even go in for years. On the other side, on the autonomic nerves, we have sinus, we have allergies, you know, we have low energy. You feel like, oh, I just feel tired. I don't know why, but I'm just tired. You know, the others, you could develop digestive problems, either constipation, either acidity, either gas and bloating. You know, things are happening in your gut that are not, they're not giving you peace, but it's not painful, it's just uncomfortable. And then you can also develop breathing problems. You know, a lot of people are, you're wheezing, you're feeling like sometimes you have to keep on clearing your throat. You feel like
men like to clear their throat. I thought there's a statement of authority. That
No.
especially like dads, fathers like to clear their throat in the morning.
It's not when someone is always, every time you have to be, it's not normal. Something is choking you. Something is choking you and needs to be removed. So these things, again, this and this can go on for quite a long time. Why? Because in the central nervous system, the area that represents the nerves or the sensation is a small area. So you have to feel these big bags fast with tension. They have to get tight. This nerve tension has to affect this so much. Because one thing we know is that pain is the last one to show and also the first to go. So these ones come for long before we experience any pain.
Right.
Now, the sensory system also does not just pick pain. The first thing that the sensory system picks is posture. You know, you start changing your posture. So like with the question you're talking about, the person with the neck pain.
Yeah.
So the first thing they'll do, they'll go here before they get pain. But when they stay here for so long, now this will fatigue. And that's when they'll start hurting. So the posture will change. The pelvis here will change. So you see a lot of guys who walk, you know, that's how they walk.
Is it a sign of being cool?
No.
Like guys especially like to walk that?
No, it's stiffness. Stiffness is setting in and the tightness.
Okay.
Then after the posture, you start noticing that, hey, every time there's a change in weather, be it cold, be it warm, you are like the thermometer. You pick it, you know. You pick it very fast when it gets hot, you know
I
it.
know that.
When it gets cold, you know it.
Yeah.
You know.
I get
So
to
again,
do those things.
these ones also sometimes go on for some time.
Yeah.
And then one day, for apparently no reason, you either bend to pick something, or you just wake up, you can't turn your neck, you can't move, or your back is so spasmed, or your knee is hurting, or your ankle cannot step down, and you're like, oh, what happened? I'm in so much pain. Why? It's because the nerve tension has gotten to its elastic limit. You know, it has gotten so tight that now there's no more room. There's no more room. So you can only, now it's causing the nerve really to be irritated. It's irritating the nerve because it's causing so much strangulation on the nerve. And then that's when, pop, you start developing the pain.
Wow.
Okay? Now, when you develop the pain, this pain, the pain now will be diagnosed depending on where you go to seek care. If you go to seek care from school medicine, you have knee pain, you do an x-ray for the knee. If you come to me and you have knee pain, I will not go to the knee. I want first of all to know, before the knee pain came, what happened?
What else was giving you stress?
When was is this the first time that your knee has hurt? Or have you ever hurt it before? If this is your first time that your knee has hurt, then I'll ask you, okay, before the knee hurt, had you had any other pain? You may say no, but I may ask you, okay, have you had any injuries on the lower leg? And maybe chances will be high, either you have had a cut, you have had an ankle sprain, okay? And that would be something that we can associate now
With
for
the
the
knee
knee,
pain.
with the pain you're having on the knee. Okay, if you don't have that, we go up to the stomach and we want to go to the stomach and ask you, have you ever had anything on the stomach? Have you ever had back pain? You say maybe yes or no. If no, do you get gas? Do you get constipation? Do you get acidity? Anything. Tell us anything. Something about your stomach. If it's not there, we come to the neck. We come up. Gonna keep on going up. The neck is very important. Patients can get a whiplash injury 10 years or 15 years. They say whiplash injury is where a car has hit you from the back, or you've had this kind of force, a very big force on the neck. And many, many years later, you develop severe sciatic pain or weakness or paralysis or spasm on one leg.
Right.
Okay? That can be traced to a neck injury that happened many, many years ago. Why? Because a research has been shown of late that neck movement, if you have a very stiff neck and you move your foot, you can unlock your neck.
Wow.
And if you have a very stiff neck, foot, you move your neck, you can unlock the foot.
Foot and neck connection.
Absolutely, very big connection. So it depends. So we ask this question for us to know where is the fascia having a problem. And once we're able to find that, then it's easy for us to know how to treat it. Okay? That is way number one. Way number two is where the musculoskeletal system gets affected. Now, and that's why we have this machine that you're seeing here, the scanner.
So you picked my mind because I was going to ask you, will that machine review that?
Yes. So this machine helps us to be able to look at when somebody is standing, when you're standing, right to left, how do you distribute your weight? Are you putting weight on one leg? Are you putting weight on both legs equally? Are you rolling on one side? Are you rotating your feet in or out? Are you rotating your feet? Whatever is happening to your feet, we need to know. Because we have these red flags that we don't do much about. There are normally 5 red flags. One of them is what we call foot flare. What is foot flare? So remember last time I was telling you there are people who walk and they sweep everything in the house. You go sweeping everything in the house. Why? Because your foot keeps on turning on the outside. So that is a red flag. We need to, when we see it, we know that will affect not only the foot, the entire chain. Okay. The next red flag is what we call it's a knock knee. When you stand on the scanner shows us that your leg is rotating inside.
Knock knee is a problem?
Yes, it is a problem because it causes again a misalignment. Your body has to be aligned. Like a car. When you take your car for alignment and cabering, it has to be aligned so that it functions properly.
Let me ask you, Dr. But there are people who walk like that. Are they naturally born that way, or?
So, most of the time they acquire it. Some people can get it like that, but most of the time they acquire it. And it end up causing a lot of problems to them later. Be it back, neck, knee. They always get problem later in life. They will get problem. And then you have people who have what we call bowed Achilles tendon. What does that mean? It's when they step, it's like they step with their heel on the inner. They step like this because this tendon here, it kind of goes like that. They don't step like me and you on the flat. So they step like they're stepping like this.
So the minute I start stepping oddly,
yes,
I should be alarmed.
Yeah, because over time it's gonna cause a problem because it's making the body not to line, not to pull properly. Then we have flat foot. Flat foot is there are guys who just don't have any arch and their foot just pop down. Now, we need the arch because the arch is like a spring. It's a shock absorber for us, for the body. As you walk, it helps distribute tension of the body. Because remember, as I stated last time, is that the foot acts like a tripod.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have the big toe, you have the small toe, and you have the heel. So all these three have to balance, like in a traditional fireplace. So if they don't balance like that, and you're just very flat, it means even your discs have no protection. It's like you're like riding in a car that has no shock absorbers.
Oh my goodness.
Every bump you hit, you feel it.
You feel it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same like that. And then finally, you have people who wear their shoes uneven. Where you wear your shoe and sometimes you find that one side is worn out. Yes.
Is that not normal?
No, it's not normal. Again, it just tells us about a misalignment. And those 5 red flags can be depicted here on this. So you see, if this guy had a pronation, his foot is pronating inside. What happens is that also the knee rotates inside. Then with the rotation of the knee, the pelvis drops on one side. Okay? When the pelvis drops on one side, we can see from the spine here, the spine also gets twisted, meaning the nerves will be compressed. And the shoulder on the opposite side also drops. So you can see there's a lot of compensation and weight that because of that, because things are rotated instead of, you may look like you're upright, but you're like this in essence.
But even when I'm wearing my clothes,
Yes.
can you see it?
Yes, you can see it. You just look at yourself in a mirror. When you wake up in the morning in the mirror, you see. Some people are like this.
But I've been like that for a long time.
But it's not normal.
It's not normal.
It's not normal.
Is that a message that
Yes,
it's not normal?
it's not normal.
Not
Some
to
people,
look alike.
some people stand up. They face upright, but when you look at them, it's like they're like this.
Is
But
that not a method of checking you out?
No. So all those are misalignment. They are small. We ignore them, but they mean a lot. Some other people, it's the eyes. Somebody is looking at you, but one eye is looking at you, the other one is looking like this. You've seen people like that?
Yeah.
Yes, someone is looking at you, but one eye is like this, and one eye is like this. All that is misalignment. It's all posture.
Wow.
It's all about posture, because our eyes determine how our posture is. Why? Because eyes help us to see distance and depth.
Hold it like that, Dr. Just hold it right there. We take a small break. We breathe in, because I feel like you're describing all of us. Like you have described me a lot. Like I'm the temperature for cold weather, hot weather, eyes, sinuses, stuff. I think, guys, let's take a short break. You ask your question, plan your questions, prepare them. When we come back, we are going to stand here. And when we stand in this machine, we are going to see how aligned we are even when we look okay or
That's
misaligned
right.
we are. Is that okay?
That's right.
Guys, take a short break. We'll be right back.
Sema nitaweza kuikabili kila hali, kwani Kristo unipa nguvu. Na tena lasema wewe unawapa uwezo walio hafifu. Lakini Bwana, sina nguvu, sina uwezo, niko hoi kwa uchungu. Nirudishie nguvu kama ulivyoahidi, nirudishie nguvu kama ulivyoahidi.
Welcome back, guys. It's good that you are staying tuned, because the meat of the matter is yet to come. Dr. Hamisi, thank you so much. We can't thank you enough for the information you're sharing with us. And I believe you've been able to identify where you fall in that description that he, and the picture that he painted. If you are touched by a part of the description, the next part is for you. So without any further ado, Dr. I think we want to go right ahead and stand here.
Yes, we're gonna do
and show us how we are working in this one.
So this is called a 3D body viewer. It uses laser and infrared light, so it's non-invasive. And here, what I call it the cambering for the car. You know, you're trying to look, it's like when you take your car to the petrol station and you put it there and they raise it up, put things on the side, they're trying to see how your wheels are aligned and how the car is. So this is exactly the same. So we're going to have a model.
Yeah, so we have James.
James, just thank you for
James
doing
could
this.
come.
So, and we wanna use James as a young man who has no major health issues, but we start seeing, does he have things that he needs
Can
to start
potentially,
worrying?
yeah.
Because remember the idea is prevention.
Yes.
The idea is not to wait until it's curative time.
Right.
So James, you're gonna step on the side of that too. Now, this machine will scan one leg at a time. So we'll scan the right and then we scan the left. So please, James, put your left leg on the center. That's right. Now, as he stands and faces straight out, hands on the side, we're going to see a light that we're going to pass underneath, like you're seeing it. That's the laser light. That light is just kind of taking a vertical view of him. And also scanning the foot to look at the arches. We want to see the arches, his arch. We want to see the arch. Are they collapsed inside? Are they flat-footed? Is it foot flaring? So it's going to show us all that.
Wow.
Okay, so just a second. So this scan is the most important things we want to know is what you call the arc height. How high is your arch from the surface? How high is your arch? We also want to know what you call is the pronation index. How much rotation, either inward or outward, that is you're having, so that we can, and then it's going to show us vertically from head to toe. How does he distribute weight? Maybe even from here, if you look at him just from the front, you would see, if you stood behind here without even him having that, you can start picking a few things that we can see if the machine will pick for us.
Okay.
You can see, if you look at that side and you look at this side, you see there's a difference.
No, I can't really quite see.
You see this?
Yes.
See that? Look at this.
Oh, okay. So that's not a factor of where he has placed his hand?
No. That is, you see, he's just standing natural. If you look at his neck, on both sides, you can see his ears are almost like this.
Yes, through the ears I can.
You can see the ears.
Yes. It's much more easier.
It's like he's rotated. But
Right.
let's see what the scan will tell us if we are picking it. Okay. We're going to repeat again. I think the scan hanged computer technology sometimes is the problem.
Yeah.
So once we get the scan and we see, you see, like the way I'm telling you, the ears, you can
Yes,
see,
I've
you can see
actually
some
seen.
rotation. You can see
Yeah.
some rotation here.
Right.
And then if we just don't move here. If I just came here and I put my hands on his bones, you can see one side is higher than the other.
Yes, I can see that.
You can see
Yes.
this is higher, this is lower.
Right.
Okay. So again, the other thing you can see, if you come here to the knee, and you just look at the straightness of the knee. This is straight. This is almost bent. This is fully straight. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. This
That
one
I
is
can
like
see.
has a bend.
Yeah.
But this one is very straight. If you come up here and you look at this line and you look at his pockets, see that? It's like a rotation.
Oh, I can see that.
You can see that
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
Yeah. So and then the other thing is, like, if you look at this leg and this leg, it looks like this leg is.
So look, I thought it's a footballer's.
But one
posture.
side. Why is it bent on one side? Why is it bent on one side?
Oh, okay.
Because you see, if you look at this leg and you look at this leg.
Yeah, I can.
We are
actually
picking.
see.
We are picking those more subtle changes. They are very subtle changes, but they are important. Because if I came up here, even without asking him, if I came here and I touched his neck, it's painful. Right or wrong? Yeah, it's painful.
Are you under duress or is it actually paining?
It's
Have you?
painful.
Okay. I felt like examining him like a doctor and asking, have you been
Yeah,
feeling
because
this
you see,
pain?
if I come and just,
Uh-huh.
even if you just push here, it's painful. Okay. If I just came also to, let me see, even here, it's painful.
But he's young.
And he's young, but these are not pains that bother him.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't even know about it. He doesn't even. They
Don't
don't
stop
bother
him from
him,
doing
and they
his
don't
normal
bother him
thing.
from doing his things.
Yes.
However, okay. However, run it. However, if as he grows older, remember the fascia is doing what? It's pulling,
It's pulling.
tightening.
Right.
This tension will be too much to an extent now that his shoulders will feel like he wants them wrapped.
Okay.
Okay? And not only the shoulders that he wants wrapped, he'll also may also start experiencing a lot of tension on the lower back. And that tension on the lower back can turn into pain.
Right.
But
And if he
let's-
adds a bit of weight?
Make it even worse because the load is, you see, it's like you're crooked and then you're carrying heavy.
So don't add weight.
Yeah.
It's a better solution for now. Right.
So Francisca, can you explain to us what you see from the scan? Let's see if what some of the things we mentioned have been captured.
Alright, so see on the right side, this is a sample scan of how someone is supposed to be distributing the weight on the feet. So the red areas, which are the balls of your feet and close to the toes, that's where most of your weight is supposed to be at, yeah? If you see on the sides, there's the green area. Mildly, your body takes very little of the weight around that area. The blue area is where you have the arch. None of the weight ideally should be there. But, you know, there are people who are naturally born, you know, and they're flat-footed and they don't have the arch. So in this case, it would be slightly different. But for a normal person's case, this is how your weight distribution should be. For James' case, which we clearly can see is not flat-footed by side, this is his weight distribution on the left side. As you can see, he's standing like a flat-footed person, yeah? So he's distributing most of the weight completely even where the arch is. He's ideally shifting weight medially instead of taking advantage of the tripod analogy that Dr. Hamisi was just explaining. But if you can see, there's a slight difference of color when it comes to his left foot and the right foot, but we'll be seeing that later on. I'm going to take you lower to the scan. If you consider the right side sample scan, if you distribute weight exactly the way you should, as it is in the sample scan, your pronation index, or ideally your stability, would be rated on an index of 0 to 34, which is optimal. When it comes to James' scan, his stability index is ideally for someone who's flat-footed, is going as high as 125, which would make him extremely unstable, meaning he can be very susceptible to ankle sprains. You know, ideally you're not taking advantage of the foundation of your feet, of your body, which are your feet, yeah? I'm gonna go to the next scan to show his distribution from the right to the left. His distribution, weight distribution is not so badly off. The right side is taking 50.28%, left side is taking 49.72%. Now, if you see, there was a difference when there was color
Yes.
in his foot, yeah? There's a difference between someone who's moving in a static, when you're in static position, and when you're in a dynamic movement. Your body behaves differently, all right? Meaning when you're in movement, your body might ideally shift to the side that is ideally more stronger. Let's say
That's right.
James had an injury on the right side, and in movement, your body will start compensating towards the left side so it doesn't injure this other side. Now, when you put you in a static position, subconsciously, your body will ideally try and run away from that leg. So you'll find that the leg that is ideally stronger will hold more weight than the other
Naturally,
side, all right? But when it comes to actually balancing right to left, it's not like your weight is completely on one side, but the foot subconsciously is taking more weight, all right? So if you can see here, yes, his weight distribution is not so badly off from 50-50, but he's ideally distributing weight medially, as you saw from your arc. So your whenever your body shifts weight, remember your body doesn't function in one joint, it's a whole system. So if there's a small change on one area, it's gonna change, make adjustments in almost every other area. That's why we're seeing his knees medially rotated and even his pelvis region. So he can have back pain, as Dr. Anissa was talking about. He can also have knee pain because of that kind of weight distribution. His arc height difference is also not very badly off. It's at 0, 0 to 1. Ideally, it should be 0 to 0 or 1 to 1, which is not so bad. But not so bad doesn't mean you're okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Francisca.
So what we see from that scan, if you look at, you see the rotation in the knees.
Yeah.
You see the rotation in the knees.
Yeah.
And you see the rotation in the back. Okay. So what we are picking from him, this, and maybe he can tell us, is someone who wakes up. Maybe I don't know if you have started experiencing, but you wake up and you have a stiff neck. Do you get that? Yeah. So you wake up and have a stiff neck. Okay. And also sometimes when he sleeps, when he is in bed, he always wants to come and crack his body. He wants to just crack. He wants to keep on cracking himself. You know, he's in bed, but he wants to crack.
Every morning.
Yes, he wants to crack.
I know that.
That is that
I've heard
presentation.
about that.
If he goes upstairs, the knees will make noise or they will hurt on the inside.
It's not that he's more flexible than the noise respond. I mean, the knees respond to noise.
No. Now let's go further. If you look at him further, you find that it's someone who wakes up between 1 and 3 to go to the washroom for whatever reason or loses sleep, even if it's briefly during that time. Does it happen? Number 2, they get very, he's somebody who I would associate with a lot of temper, emotion, somebody who either gets broken easily or really gets angry. It's one of the two. Either gets broken easily or gets angry. Why? Because that is all rotation. It's a lot of tension in the organs. That is more glands that get tight. And if you were to follow more, what else can I say? Acidity. Something like acidity or gas is something that you would get. Sometimes he would eat something and get gassy, or sometimes he would get something and get heartburn. I don't know if you experienced that. Not yet. But that is something that there's potentially that would come. Yeah, would come.
Yeah.
So they are far in the picture, but we are able to pick them way early.
Before it happens.
Yes, because the idea is prevention. The idea is not curative. Curative is difficult.
Yes,
curative is very difficult. Yes.
Right. So what do you say would be the right course of action for young James or someone else his age whose neck is feeling stiff, who wants to crack in the morning, and potentially you can see some red flags?
I would say, you need to get a professional who knows how to look at posture, who knows how to correct this kind of imbalance.
Yeah.
Number 1. If you don't have, you go online and look for Tai Chi. Tai Chi, it's a very simple exercise. Okay. But the difference with Tai Chi is because Tai Chi helps us with the way we move. So you find. For example, in Tai Chi, let me see how I can say. So you can start by doing a movement like that, and when you move like that, so you'd carry the ball. You want to step out. You see how my foot is going?
The heel first.
Yes, and then step out. You want to turn. You want to stretch again.
You want to hit somebody like Kung Fu or
no.
something like this?
It's very gentle. It's very gentle, and all you're doing this movement is to try and restretch these 3 pillars: the toe, the small, the big toe, the small toe, and the heel. So you're trying to, as you move, him is a rotation. We have seen his rotation. So we need to untalk. We need to unrotate his body. So Tai Chi would be what I would recommend him to be a form of exercise. I would not tell him to go and lift weights. He would be more messed up.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not tell him to do weight training as the same. I would tell him to swim maybe. I can tell him to do yoga. I would tell him to do Pilates, but not to start with very heavy. Because he needs to get his body to move and open up into rotations. That is what I would do. I would also recommend him to get a regular massage. And the massage will not make you like die, it's not people make you very painful massage. No, the massage should be able to help your body relax and help you move better. Okay? So
It's
because you
relax the
loosen,
muscles.
yes, you loosen this fascia tissue, and then you exercise. Exercise is a must.
Yeah.
You have to do the exercises.
Wow,
Yes.
fantastic. I think we want to see, James, thank you so much. Please take your seat. I think we want to check whether there's any difference. That's a young man. How about a young lady?
Let's have a look.
Terry Karibu.
Terry, what's your second
So the way we do it, you're gonna stand here, one leg, and the other leg here, and then when we start scanning, you're gonna put the light one. The light will go through, and then after that you change, you put the other one, then the light will go through.
Fantastic.
So with a young lady, let's see if we're gonna know if she wears high heels or not.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see if we
Alright.
can pick it. But if you come behind here as we are talking, I think we are picking more on Terry than even we picked on him. Can you see it?
First of all, the ears. Let me start with the most visible, like the ears.
Yes. Yeah. Start. Then you look at the clock. Yes. So what do you see from the? What do you see? Just look at her and tell me what.
I
you
see beautiful earrings. I'm not sure, but I can see this chin more than the.
Yes, you can see like there's a rotation
Yes,
also.
yeah,
There's also a
the-
rotation.
the
Even when you
left.
look at her leg, look at her knees. What do you see different? Look at the creases on her trouser.
More on the left than right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can see now we don't have the holes we had
Oh yes.
with him.
With James.
Yes.
So most of the things is by observation.
Yeah, you observe. The scanner just makes it sure for you.
Okay.
And if you look at this foot as she stands there, if you look at this foot, the way this foot steps, the way this foot steps, do you see a difference?
I see a little bit of
You see that she's stepping on the
myself.
outside. See,
Yes.
she's stepping on the outside on this side.
Right. Yes. I thought that's how I stepped too.
Yeah, she steps. You see, like it's like she's stepping like her leg is
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit on this.
Yes.
It can be seen by
You
here.
can, yes,
much
you can
more
see
than
that. Yeah. Than this other one.
Yes.
And even if you look at the big toe, if you look at the big toe on this leg, look at the big toe.
Oh, it's it's being friendly. It's pointing.
It's going.
the other
Yes,
direction.
it's going to the other direction.
That's not okay.
No, that is not okay.
Oh. Okay. I think I don't know why the audience is laughing, but the team is laughing. But I think you need to explain something.
Yes.
I think, do we normalize usually long posture? Do we normalize it until it looks okay?
You know what is crazy is that when we talk posture, we only talk about posture of the neck, posture of the back, but posture starts from the feet and the head.
Okay.
So our feet, the stepping part, this just part between the ankle, on the ankle and the
And
foot,
the foot.
it's the most important in terms of posture.
Wow.
Why? Because it's the foundation. It's like it's your foundation of the house. If the foundation of the house is faulty, the structure will be
Yes, it will be 40.
okay. So you look at many people who are in pain. Many people, anybody who is complaining of pain, tell them to remove their shoes, and you'll see they either have bunions, they have curled up toes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have toes that are facing the other side.
The problem of
Yes.
posture?
You look at when you look at bunions, they tell you a lot.
Oh my.
Yeah, they tell you a lot.
Oh, okay. I think I stand at risk of examining feet from today.
Yeah, you look at feet. Anybody with pain, tell them to remove their shoes.
How about if they are not in pain and they have the feet are little
You
like that?
still can start seeing the early signs.
Those are early
because
signs.
They are early signs because shoes, as good as we love them, shoes mess how we walk. Because not all shoe companies take into serious consideration posture and this pronation index. Not all shoe companies take that so serious, but it has to be very serious because when the shoe is not giving you that biomechanical advantage, then it helps you to continue on the wrong path.
So that's the complex term there, biomechanical advantage.
Yes.
Describe that a little bit.
Biomechanical advantage is to be able to have your body, your feet in the tripod.
Okay.
So you see some people wear very flat shoes,
Yes.
or you wear very high heels.
Th-
Okay.
That's a, gentlemen, guys don't have that problem.
Gentlemen have a problem by wearing those are they called
Pointed.
Cameroonian or the Congolese sharp shoes like those ones.
But that's style, isn't it style?
No, the moment you're compressing your toes, you're messing your feet.
Oh my
Your
goodness.
feet are, if you look at an ape, our feet, yes, if you look at an ape, our feet are supposed to be spread. Our toes are not supposed to be cramped up like this. Our feet are supposed to be separate. They're supposed to be like claws, you know, like paws of a cat, of a lion. They're supposed to be opening up, but most of us cannot move our feet. Our feet are so stuck together, and when our feet are stuck together, not only are there a problem there, they affect everything up. Remember, our feet are our connection with the ground. They are our antenna. They give us information. So if they are so cramped up, you find it when you can get foggy brain.
Oh my goodness, you guys, I think we have to get rid of our shoes at this rate. I think let's see what you see from Terry from the scan
Let's see what's
before we get into trouble with our shoes.
You done?
Almost done. It's taking a little bit of time.
So it's really important. I normally say there's a documentary, you can look it online. You can look it on YouTube. It's called Earthing.
Yes, I've checked.
It's called Earthing.
Yes.
We need to create time to spend without shoes in our garden,
Right.
in our, step outside, walk, because you connect your body to the ground and help your body recharge.
Yes.
Your body recharges through the earthing process. When you wear shoes all the time and you're very sick, for example, or you're having a lot of inflammation, your inflammation, even if you're treated with anti-inflammatories, is not going to improve as well as it should. Why? Because your body needs to have a way of discharging
And I'm
that energy.
preventing it.
Yes, you're preventing it because the rubber in the shoe, it's preventing you from having a direct access. Anybody who watched that show will be surprised on how that when you get earthing, you get sound sleep, you get less inflammation, you get less pain, and you get more alert.
Wow. But I think we should examine that a little further because it's a different topic but a very important topic.
Yes.
I've interacted with it a bit.
You got it.
But so, Dr.
Yes.
As we wait for the
Terry's scan to go.
for the scan to go,
Yes.
so go ahead and talk to us about practical approaches or responses to the shoe problem. Because we've talked about the fingers or the toes being compressed.
Yes.
And that's affecting our good health.
Yes.
So tell us, advise us, what
So-
to do with shoes.
One, you should not wear a tight shoe that is causing you discomfort. A shoe that you're not walking with it comfortable should be X.
Okay.
Okay? So if for men, those very sharp shoes, no. For ladies, you should not wear a shoe that makes your posture go very high and then pushes your back forward.
Oh, for stability.
Yes,
Oh.
because you see when the heel is very high and then 3 inches and then you have to go here, you're putting a lot of strain on your lower back. Yeah. Not only that, you're making your square base tight. Okay? When you make your square base tight, the square base tight, when you remove those shoes and you start walking normal, you are the first people to start complaining of the heel spur.
Oh,
Pain in the heel. Why? Because this has shortened.
because
Yeah.
of wearing a high heel.
Yes, because
Oh.
you're always like this. This is always shortened.
Oh my goodness.
Okay? This is always shortened.
I'm alarmed. I hope the ladies are alarmed as I am.
This is always shortened. This is not to say that you cannot wear high heels, but you need to do it in moderation. Don't put beauty before your health. Consider both. Balance. Try to balance so that then you don't pay for it later. Because I can tell you, look at. I give people example of Angelina Jolie. Look at Angelina Jolie's feet. Then you will understand the effects of shoes and how shoes can mess you. You look at her feet. They're like this.
Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
Who is that?
She's a celebrity. She's a celebrity or a filmmaker, a filmmaker and musician.
Oh my word.
Her feet are like this. If you look at her feet,
So please somebody Google that. So
you know, so that you can start seeing the effects. So you get start, so that will make you start getting a lot of surgeries in your feet, and those surgeries that you get in your feet are going to mess you even more.
Oh my.
Because the surgery, as successful it will be, to cause more stiffness.
Okay.
And this is what the feet are so important. That's why you see somebody will tell you, I go to a reflexologist, and when they worked on my feet, my back now is fine, my neck is fine, I don't have pain anymore. Why? It's because you release the tension. The reflexologist released the tension that was all cramped up in there.
Or in the feet. So you're saying it's possible to to remedy that problem?
Yes, absolutely. The flexibility of the feet is so key. If your foot is so stiff, you're in trouble.
Have it relaxed.
Yes, you need your foot to relax. Why? Because it's like your springs are, if you don't have any, it's like a lack of spring. When your feet is so tight, it cannot take any tension.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no tension. But when your feet is soft, then you're able to take a lot of tension. Yeah, they're flexible. You're able to take a lot of tension. So now you can imagine you have very stiff feet, and then you decide you want to get fit, and you start running on tarmac with also bad running shoes. You know. So what do you get? Shin splint. Okay, you start developing shin splint, you develop low back pain, you develop knee pain, you develop shoulder, you know, all this pain, but you're not able to exactly say why.
Wow.
You get it, but it's from the feet, it's from your shoes. Your feet needs to be like the paws of a cat, and then the toes have to be spaced out and flexible, not rigid and stiff. If your foot is one of those stiff, like some men have very, very stiff feet. You need to have.
I thought it's called leg kicking things. they kick things or wherever they're going.
You know. Yeah. So the feet play a very, 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 very important role, but they are given least consideration.
Oh, so there you go, Jamas.
Yes.
Your feet shouldn't be that stiff.
You know, if I normally say, if the care we give to our face is the same care we give to our spine and our feet, then we'll be having a comfortable life.
Wow. I can't wait for that day when you understand that. Okay, you know, thank you so much.
And maybe the reason why is because if the spine was in the front of us, then maybe you would see it and then take good care of it. You know?
I think Terry,
are you done? Okay,
Francisca, you're ready?
Let's see Terry's scan now.
So this is Terry's scan. So I took you guys through the sample scan. In Terry's case, her pronation index is at 117. She's also distributing weight, medially, more than she should be. I want you to notice the left foot as well, the one that Dr. Amisi was talking about.
The one with the banyan.
Yeah.
The one with the banyan.
You can also notice it there.
When it comes to weight distribution, that left side is taking a lot of weight. It's taking 54.3% of her weight. The right side is taking 45.66% of her weight, which is quite a huge difference. When you look at the arc height difference, arc height difference is at 0.8, meaning one leg, one arc is ideally higher than the other.
One side is collapsed.
Which is the right side. One is collapsed and the other one is not ideally collapsed, right? So that is ideally worse than James. Back to you, Dr. Missy.
So if we are now to look at her, okay, and we look at the scans, we are able to pick. On the left side, I'm able to pick knee pain. Then. Here.
Terry, what did you feel?
Here, none.
No pain there.
But this, immediately. Okay. If we go further down,
yeah, she's feeling pain there.
you can see.
Yeah.
Go to the same side, opposite side, nothing. Okay. We go to the back here. Okay. So it's on the left. So she's pronating. So she's collapsing this way. So you came to the back here, and if I press there's nothing. If I press here, So you see that? So you press here.
Oh, ouch, ouch.
Okay. Then you come up here. There will be nothing on this side, but here.
Oh,
Okay.
ouch.
So what are we seeing? We are seeing that line of collapse like this. It's like it's shifting from this side
To
this
the
side,
right side.
and up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she would complain more of. Do you have a shoulder pain? There you go.
And it's not the handbag?
No.
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 Okay.
No. But this shoulder.
Well, sometimes we blame the handbag
No.
for
no.
the pain.
It's that distribution. The weight is off, but this side nothing. This side
Yeah.
nothing, but this side is painful.
Right,
And you
yeah.
can pick it all the way to the fingers here. Yeah, you can pick it all the way.
Okay.
And if she gets headaches, she'll get this kind of headaches.
Oh,
You
very
right?
good, Terry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Terry. We appreciate that, Terry. We appreciate so much. Now, let me welcome you back to your seat for a minute. I think our time looks like all spent. We would have had a chance to look at those guys are in their 20s.
Yes.
How about a guy in their 30s? Can we?
We can do a quick one.
A quick one.
Yeah.
Helen, do you want to come quickly for a second? And we just, but we won't talk about it.
No, we won't talk about
We
it.
just
We
make sure
wanna- yeah.
the guys who are in that age bracket can also see
Yes.
how that looks like.
So you can now imagine. Now she's not feeling anything.
Yeah.
Okay? Then she'll get to be a mother.
Yes.
Yeah, she'll get to be a mother.
Uh-huh.
Pregnancy,
Uh-huh.
maybe get a C-section.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Maybe because of that, add a little bit of weight.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? And then assume she works in an office job, or even if whatever job she works, and she has to use her arm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
So this is someone who will start complaining of headaches, neck pain, sometimes numbness in the hand, low back, knee, but they're not going to come at once. You know, that's one thing they need to
Okay, it's a
realize.
gradual
It's going to
process.
come one area will start,
Uh-huh.
and that area will be treated, and then it goes to another area.
Right.
And that area gets treated, and then it goes to another. So it's going to compensate like the way you're seeing on the scan, okay? Causing different symptoms. Sometimes they may not be muscular. They may be internal.
Wow, something they can't even.
Yes, it can be even like a painful menses. It can be constipation. It can be acidity. It can be anything.
Anything.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you. I think, are we ready? Not yet.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Now him is even worse if you look at him. Can you see it even when you're just seated?
The lights on my eyes.
Look between left and right.
I
Just-
can see the
no,
left
no, just-
leg.
just his-
I start up there.
Yes.
The lights are on my eyes, on that side.
And I just look at the creases of his trouser and his creases of his shirt. Look at this side, look at this side, and look at this.
The left side seems to be more in trouble
Exactly.
all around.
Yes.
Why?
It's because most of the guys are right-hand dominant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So who is left-handed? If we tried a left-handed person,
Maybe
we
different.
may see a difference.
Maybe a different presentation. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is pretty interesting.
You done? Come on. Did you jump start it?
From here.
So posture as simple as it is, it tells us so much. But you see, we don't pay so much attention to posture.
No, we don't.
We don't pay so much attention. So you can imagine if you can imagine our school-going children, you know, and we give them very heavy bags.
Yes, and they're
Okay.
children.
Yes, very
I think
heavy
it's
bags.
good training for NI strength.
No,
It's not.
no, very heavy bags spoil their posture. They mess their posture. And then them spending so much time cramped on gadget, on a phone or an iPad for so long.
Or writing notes.
That is not as bad as iPad and phone. Yeah, the young people, we should not allow our children to spend so much time on a phone or on a computer, just looking at
Doing
it
this.
because it distorts
Uh-huh.
the whole balance. Let them get out, go play. Let's
Yeah.
go play, climb trees, jump, push tires, whatever we used to do before, but not just let kids lie at home in bed and all they're doing the whole day is
It's
stay
just
in the
flipping.
iPad.
Yeah.
they are going to develop a lot of pain, a lot of degeneration, changes in the neck, a lot of degeneration on the spine that are causing a lot of problems. I'll tell you, maybe a month ago or 2 months ago, I had a kid brought to me. This kid was 13. And when you look at the X-ray of a 13-year-old and you compare it to the X-ray of a 50 or 70-year-old, they look the same. A lot of degeneration.
At 13?
Yes, a lot of degeneration. Why? This kid is always, if they're not having their book bags, they are always on the iPad all the time. They don't look up. You know, they don't look up. It's like all of us. We are also getting to that habit. We are always looking down. We are all looking down, and that is going to cause.
Even when we are cruising the street, I've seen guys
we
still
are
on their
all looking
phones.
down. We are all looking down, and that is also going to cause us a lot of problems.
So I think
we're having a problem.
Almost done.
Almost done.
Almost done. Even as we get done, to save a little bit of time, we have captured a few of the things you said.
Yes.
Some of the things to make adjustments in.
Yes.
Is the shoe wear,
We need to
whether we
change.
are male or female.
Yes. I tell ladies, if you want to wear a high heel, that sharp one is not your friend.
Okay, avoid the sharp.
The sharp one.
The
So
sharp one?
if you have to wear,
A
don't
block
wear,
heel?
a broader heel.
Uh-huh.
A broader heel, like a block.
Yes, a block is
Yes,
better.
and then not too high.
Not too high.
And if you have to wear very high, go where you're going to move them.
Oh, okay.
Where you're going to move
Okay,
them.
all right. Okay.
And then put on some comfortable shoes.
Right.
Don't also wear very flat that have no support at all. Okay?
Okay.
Because again, you can't come from very high to very low. And that's what most ladies do. They come from very high to nothing.
Is this a good one?
That's a good heel.
It has no much heel.
That's not a bad heel.
It's not a bad heel.
Yeah. But the thing is, you don't want your toes jammed up.
At the front.
Yes, you don't want your toes jammed up.
Fantastic.
Because the big toe determines a lot about posture.
Right.
When your big toe is off, then when you walk, because I remember when I said when you walk, we hit down with our heel, the foot goes down to our small toe, then we leap and load.
Okay.
So when our toe is stiff and crooked like this, we have no proper gait. We'll have to walk like, you get. So when we walk, we cannot get this movement. We'll have to find a way to get that
compensate.
movement. You understand? And when you have to change from here to here to do this, you're also changing your back.
The back as well.
Yes.
So I think we are going to briefly look at Philip's
Let's look at the scan now.
scan.
So
And then-
this is Philip's scan. You can notice there's a difference between the right and the left leg. The left leg is completely flat on the ground. His pronation index is as high as 142. It's worse than someone who's flat-footed, but we can clearly see that his right, he at least makes effort to take advantage of the arch on the right foot, but the left foot is completely flat on the ground. And then weight distribution, the left side, which is completely flat on the ground, is taking ideally most of the weight, 55.5% of your weight and 44.4% on the right.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
it's
so much.
It's like he's walking like this. It's like he's walking
And
like
he
that.
wasn't aware.
But now, if you look at the same, you can see we don't even have one of his toes. Did you notice? We don't have one of his toes. Can you pull it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, just a second. If you look, you'll see one of his toes is not being captured at all.
So it's not too
It's
being
not touching the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So, do you have any pain? Where do you have pain? Look, on the calf? Yes, please come in. You get occasional pain on the calf. And you can see why, we can understand why the pain is there because of the compensation. Yeah? So if he collapses everything on this side, then this side has to take
The weight.
the weight. Okay? And as a result of that, uneven distribution, he'll end up having pain. And not only that, if you follow up, the foot of the neck, the neck. You see, but he never bothers him, and you'll also find him even he's standing. If you ask him to turn and see, talk to me. When you don't move your body, turn. Can you see? He's standing. You see, if you told him, okay, we face together. We don't move our body and we turn to the side. You see the difference? Can you see the difference? If we say we turn the other side, he's okay. But if turning this side,
It's where the
can you see the restriction?
Yeah.
So now that has started early.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that needs to be worked on, because if it's not worked on, it's gonna continue making it tight. The next thing, one day he may say, oh, my neck is really bad. Go get an X-ray, and there will be all degenerative changes on the neck.
Wow. Thank you so much, Philip.
so much.
Thank you so much, Daktari. I think that's all we have time for today. We are going to bring our show to a close, but we truly appreciate. And we won't be able to take more questions at this point, but when the questions come, I will direct them to you. But meanwhile, in the meantime, tell us where to find you and give us a good offer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for this opportunity and for you having invited me to your congregation.
You're welcome.
I want to give a 50% discount.
You guys, did you hear it? 50?
I want to give a 50% discount
Thank
on
you.
On the consultation. Consultation we charge 7,000, so we're going to give you 50% discount.
That's good.
I'm also going to give you 40% discount on 6 treatments. Anybody who have watched or will watch this show, a cost of 90,000 for 6 sessions, I will give you a 40% discount to be able to give it to you. So we say a total of 64 instead of giving you a 90.
Oh, 64 instead of 90?
Yes, that is for 6 sessions. What do you get from that? When you come to us, so the consultation covers the following. The consultation covers what you call, we take your history, we do the scans, we have this scan, and we have a nerve, muscle, and organ scan. We do functional movement scan, and then we do posture analysis, and then we do a report of finding, what we have found and what we can do. That will charge you, that's the consultation. So instead of charging you 7,000, we'll give you 50% discount. On the treatment part, we'll do for you 6 visits. Depending on these 6 visits can be spread into either 1 week apart or 2 weeks apart. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to give you every visit, we're going to give you fascial manipulation treatment to try and correct the analysis. We give you chiropractic adjustment. We give you nutrition consultation. We give you recovery exercises, and we give you shiatsu. So you get these 5 in 3 times. The other 3 times you get chiropractic, exercise, and fascial manipulation. So when we treat you like that and you do 6 treatments, maybe you come back here to give us testimony.
Okay, so at the end of the 6 treatments, if I am Philip, for example, my neck is not having good movements and my shin is bleeding, that will be gone?
Yes. Yes,
Guarantee?
absolutely. Yes.
Or your money back?
Yes, or your money back. Absolutely.
Excellent. That's all we have time for today. Thank you so much, everybody. Dr. Hamisi, we cannot thank you enough. We appreciate your time with us. Francisca on the scan, thank you so much also for your time. And our listeners, our viewers, our congregation, we thank you so much for staying with us. We believe you learned something. Take advantage of this offer, and we'll see you next time. God bless you all.
Give us location, contact.
And I'll give you the contact for Dr. Hamisi. I forgot to give you, but I know where to find him. I'll give you his phone number. You can call him, and he'll be able to receive your call and schedule you. Bless you all. Thank you.